The baby had lost so much weight that the nurse could feel his ribs through the blanket. Not because he wasn't being fed, not because he was sick, but because something inside the hospital was quietly draining the life out of him. Asha Park stands frozen beside the crib while 3 doctors argue behind her. Their voices rise and fall like distant thunder. One insists the infant needs more calories, another claims genetics. The senior physician snaps that there's nothing else to test. But Asha isn't watching the doctors anymore. She's watching the baby. His cry has changed. Not louder, not weaker, different. And that terrifies her more than anything she's seen in 8 years of nursing. Before we continue, besties, please show some love by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us bring you heartfelt, unforgettable stories every single day. And don't forget to comment your location and the time you're watching. Let's see how far this story of love and fate has traveled across the world. She had heard that sound before, years ago, in another infant who didn't survive. Her hands tremble as she checks the feeding tube. Clear, clean, perfect. So why is his body wasting away? The monitor beeps once, twice, then his breathing slows. Asha slams the emergency button. Red lights flash across the ceiling. Footsteps pound down the hallway. Something's wrong, she says. Doctors rush in and ignore her. The senior physician barely glances at the monitor. We are not ordering more tests, he barks. You're overreacting. But Asha's eyes are locked on one number falling on the screen. A number that should not be falling. Not in a healthy baby. Not in a safe hospital. Not unless someone wanted him weak. The infant's chest rises and falls in uneven rhythm. His skin carries a gray undertone that doesn't match hunger. His breath smells faintly metallic. Asha has smelled that before, too. In the winter clinic during her first year, 3 babies losing weight despite eating well. The cause hadn't been disease. It had been water contamination, a cleaning compound, tasteless, invisible, slowly poisoning them. Her stomach tightens. The senior doctor adjusts his glasses and writes something in the chart. Failure to thrive, he mutters. Increase feeding volume. Then he turns to leave. Asha steps forward. Her voice comes out steadier than she feels. What if it's not failure to thrive? The doctor stops, looks back. His expression shifts from annoyance to warning. Then what would you call it, Nurse Park? She doesn't answer immediately. Can't. Because the words forming in her mind sound impossible. Sound paranoid. Sound like career suicide. The other doctors file out. The room empties. Only Asha remains beside the crib. She places her hand gently on the infant's chest, feels the fragile heartbeat beneath her palm, counts the ribs she shouldn't be able to count. The baby's eyes flutter open for just a moment. Dark, unfocused, helpless. Asha's memory clicks into place like a key turning in a lock. That cry, that smell, that pattern. She's seen this before. And standing there, surrounded by people who refuse to listen, Asha realizes something far worse than illness is happening in this pristine, state-of-the-art hospital. If she's right, and every instinct screams that she is, this baby isn't just dying. He's being slowly destroyed. Would you trust your gut if everyone with a medical degree told you that you were wrong? Asha works the night shift because it pays a little more. Because her mother's medication doesn't wait for daylight. Because eviction notices don't care about exhaustion. Because kindness doesn't cover rent. She learned early that the world listens to titles, not voices. Doctors speak, nurses obey. That's the rule. That's the system. That's survival. Tonight, before her shift, a supervisor stopped her near the supply room. The woman's voice was cold, clinical. Inventory is missing, she said. You handled formula last night. Asha's chest tightened immediately. I didn't take anything. The supervisor's eyes didn't soften. We'll review the cameras. Everyone nearby heard it. No one defended her. By the time Asha reached the neonatal unit, shame weighed heavier than fatigue, which is why she noticed the baby. He had arrived 3 weeks ago under a false name. Guards stood outside his door. His paperwork was sealed. No parents listed, no family visits. Only a private foundation paying his bills in full. Staff called him Unit 12. Asha called him Min. Because numbers didn't cry. Because numbers didn't deserve better. Because calling him by a name meant someone cared. Min is 3 months old and shrinking. Every chart shows decline. Every feeding shows effort. Every night shows less strength. The doctors say failure to thrive. But Asha sees something else. His skin has that gray tone that doesn't match simple hunger. His cry sounds strained instead of empty. And his breath carries that faint metallic smell that keeps pulling at her memory like a thread unraveling. She opens his file again, reads through the notes. Nothing unusual reported. Feeding schedule perfect. Temperature stable, diaper output normal. Everything points to a baby who should be thriving. Yet he's fading. She flips to the weight chart. The line drops steadily. Week after week. Like someone turned a dial and decided he should disappear slowly. Asha closes the file and stands beside the crib. Min's tiny fingers curl and uncurl. His chest rises in shallow breaths. She reaches out and touches his hand. His skin feels cool. Too cool. She pulls the blanket higher, tucks it around him, watches his face for any sign of comfort. He doesn't open his eyes, doesn't respond, just breathes, just exists, just barely. The door opens behind her. A guard peers in. Everything okay? His tone isn't friendly. Asha nods. Just checking vitals. The guard lingers. His eyes scan the room like he's looking for evidence of something. Then he steps back and closes the door. The lock clicks. Asha exhales slowly. Even the guards treat this baby like a secret worth protecting. She returns to the chart and writes carefully. Request toxin screening. Check feeding source. Her pen hovers over the page. She knows what happens next. The senior physician will cross it out. Will tell her to stop panicking. Will remind her that she already has a complaint on file. That she's on thin ice. That one more mistake could cost her everything. But she writes it anyway. Because Min's breathing is getting weaker. Because that metallic smell is getting stronger. Because somewhere in her gut, Asha knows she's seen this before. And the last time she ignored it, a baby died. She clips the chart back onto the crib and steps into the hallway. The fluorescent lights hum overhead. The floor gleams under her feet. Everything looks clean, safe, professional. But appearances lie. Asha learned that the hard way. She walks to the supply room and scans the shelves. Formula containers line the wall, all labeled correctly, all sealed, all standard issue. So where is it coming from? Her phone buzzes. A text from her mother's caregiver. Meds running low. Need refill by Thursday. Asha closes her eyes. Thursday is 2 days away. The refill costs $300. She has $240 in her account. Losing this job isn't an option. Speaking up isn't safe. But staying silent isn't either. She returns to Min's room. His monitor beeps steadily. For now, she sits in the chair beside the crib and watches the numbers. Watches the rise and fall of his chest. Watches the clock tick toward midnight. Somewhere in this hospital, someone knows what's happening. Someone made a choice. Someone looked at this baby and decided he was expendable. Asha leans forward. Her voice is a whisper. I see you, Min. I see you. His breathing shifts. Just slightly. Like he heard her. Like he knows someone is paying attention. Asha's throat tightens. She blinks back the sting in her eyes. Then she smells it again. That metallic scent. Faint, but unmistakable. She leans closer to the feeding tube. Sniffs the line. Nothing obvious. But the smell is there, clinging to the air around him. Her memory snaps back to the winter clinic. 3 babies. Same symptoms. Same decline. Same metallic smell. The cause had been a cleaning compound mixed into the water supply. It passed routine tests. It hid behind assumptions. It killed slowly, quietly, perfectly. Asha's pulse quickens. She stands and checks the feeding bag. Clear liquid, standard formula. But what if the contamination isn't in the bag? What if it's in the line, in the source? In something no one thought to test because everyone assumed the system was safe? The door opens again. The senior physician walks in. His expression is already annoyed. "Nurse Park," he says flatly. "I saw your note." Asha straightens. He needs a toxin panel. The doctor's Madadidu jaw tightens. We do not waste resources on theories. She doesn't back down. It's not a theory. It's a pattern. His voice drops. Cold, final. Your pattern, not medicine. He steps closer. You already have a complaint on file. Don't create another. The threat hangs in the air between them. Asha feels the weight of it, feels the walls closing in, feels the choice narrowing to two impossible options. Speak and lose everything. Stay silent and watch Min die. The doctor leaves. The door clicks shut. Asha looks down at Min, his tiny body, his fragile breath, his silent suffering. Power, she realizes, has its own temperature, and this room is cold, colder than any hospital should ever be. If your job, your safety, and your future were on the line, would you still speak up for someone who couldn't speak for themselves? Asha spends the next 12 hours watching Min like a hawk watches prey. Every breath, every twitch, every flicker of movement, she logs his vitals twice as often as protocol requires. She checks the feeding tube 3 times per shift. She examines the formula bags under the supply room lights. Everything looks normal. Everything follows procedure. Everything passes inspection. But Min keeps fading. His weight drops another 2 ounces overnight. His skin grows paler. His cry weakens to barely a whimper. Asha stands beside his crib at 4 in the morning and feels helplessness crawl up her spine like ice. She's missing something. Something obvious. Something everyone else is too busy to see. She pulls out her phone and searches medical databases. Toxins that mimic malnutrition. Compounds that pass standard tests. Chemicals that accumulate slowly. The list is shorter than she expected. Most require specialized equipment to detect. Most wouldn't show up in routine blood work. Her finger hovers over one entry. A cleaning agent used in industrial settings. Tasteless. Odorless when diluted. Causes progressive weight loss and organ stress. Symptoms appear. Weeks after exposure begins, fatal in infants if untreated. Asha's heart pounds. She opens Min's chart and writes again. This time, more detailed, more specific. Request toxicology panel for industrial cleaning compounds. Patient symptoms consistent with slow onset chemical exposure. Urgent. She clips the chart back and waits. Morning rounds begin at 7. The senior physician arrives with 2 residents trailing behind him. He picks up Min's chart, reads Asha's note. His face hardens immediately. He crosses out her request with one thick black line. Then he looks at her. His eyes are flat, cold. Nurse Park, a word. They step into the hallway. The residents scatter. The doctor closes the door behind them. His voice stays low, but every word cuts. You are overstepping. Asha keeps her voice steady. He's losing weight despite adequate feeding. So that's not normal. The doctor's jaw tightens. It's failure to thrive. She shakes her head. His symptoms match chemical exposure. Based on what evidence? Based on observation. Observation isn't diagnosis. Then run the test and prove me wrong. The doctor steps closer. Do you understand what you're implying? That this hospital is somehow poisoning a child? Asha doesn't flinch. I'm saying something in his environment is harming him, and we need to find out what. Silence stretches between them. You've been with us 8 years, Nurse Park. You're competent, reliable. but you're also on probation after the inventory incident. One more complaint and your employment will be reviewed. He pauses. Do you really want to risk your career on a hunch? Asha feels the trap closing. Risk everything and maybe save Min. Stay silent and definitely lose him. She thinks of her mother's medication, the rent due next week. She thinks of Min's tiny fingers, his shallow breaths, his silent suffering. She meets the doctor's eyes. Run the test. His expression goes cold. That's not your call to make. He turns and walks back into the room. Asha follows. The doctor writes something in Min's chart. Continue current feeding protocol. Monitor weight daily. No additional tests at this time. He leaves. Asha stands alone beside the crib. Standard procedure. Nothing that might actually save him. She looks down at Min. His chest rises and falls in uneven rhythm. She can't just watch him die. The door opens. A lab technician walks in to draw routine blood samples. Asha watches her work, watches the vials fill with dark red blood. The technician leaves. Asha stares at the feeding tube, at the clear liquid dripping slowly into Min's tiny body. An idea forms. Dangerous. Unauthorized. Career-ending if caught. Asha waits until the hallway empties. Until the shift change chaos begins. She pulls on sterile gloves, disconnects a small section of the feeding line, draws a sample into an empty vial, reconnects the line, checks Min's vitals. Everything stays stable. She labels the vial with a false patient ID, slips it into her pocket. Her heart hammers. If anyone saw that, if anyone reviews the cameras, she's done. But if the test comes back positive, if it proves she's right, if it saves Min's life, maybe it's worth it. She walks to the lab, slides the vial across the counter. Rush toxicology panel, industrial compounds. The lab tech frowns. This isn't on the schedule. Emergency request. Attending physician approved it verbally. A lie, complete lie. But her voice doesn't waver. The tech shrugs and takes the vial. Results by end of shift. Asha walks away before her courage fails. The clock ticks forward. Minutes stretch into hours. At 2 in the afternoon, her phone buzzes. A message from the lab. Results ready. Asha's stomach drops. She walks to the lab. The tech slides a printout across the counter. Asha takes it, opens it, reads. Positive. Chemical compound detected. Industrial cleaning agent. Concentration levels toxic to infants. Min is being poisoned. What happens when the truth you've risked, everything defined, becomes the evidence that could destroy you? At 2:17 in the morning, Min stops crying. Asha hears the silence before she sees it. That terrible absence of sound that means something has gone horribly wrong. She bolts from the nurse's station, crashes through the door. Min's lips are pale, his chest stutters. She slams the emergency alarm. Red lights flood the ceiling. Footsteps pound toward the room. Doctors burst through. The senior physician pushes past Asha. Residents crowd around the crib. A nurse wheels in the crash cart. Blood sugar is crashing. Get a line in him now. Vitals dropping. Chaos erupts. Hands move in trained synchronization. IV needles, monitors, syringes. Asha stands pressed against the wall. Her hands shake. She watches Min's tiny body surrounded by adult hands trying desperately to keep him alive. Increase feeding rate. Push dextrose. The monitor beeps erratically. Min's heart rate jumps. His breathing evens slightly. The numbers climb back toward safe ranges. Slowly. Too slowly. But they climb. The room exhales. The senior doctor steps back, wipes his forehead. Good work. Then his eyes land on Asha. She can't stay silent anymore. Not after this. She steps forward. Run a toxin panel. The room goes still. Excuse me? He needs a toxicology screening, industrial compounds. Enough. His symptoms match chemical exposure. I said enough. Asha pulls the lab printout from her pocket. Her hands tremble, but her voice stays firm. I already ran one. It came back positive. She holds out the paper. The doctor doesn't take it, doesn't even look at it. You ran an unauthorized test. I ran a necessary one. You violated protocol. I saved his life. The doctor snatches the paper from her hand, scans it quickly. His expression doesn't change. He folds the printout once, twice, then tears it cleanly in half. Asha's stomach lurches. This is a false positive. Lab error. Contaminated sample. He drops the torn pieces into the waste bin. It proves nothing. He's being poisoned. He has failure to thrive. The test proves otherwise. The test proves you can't follow orders. The doctor steps closer. His voice drops to a whisper, but everyone in the room can hear it. You jeopardized your career for a hunch. You ran an illegal test. You falsified lab requests, and now you're accusing this hospital of criminal negligence. I'm trying to save him. You're trying to save yourself from being wrong. The words hit like a slap. The doctor turns to the residents. Document the crash and recovery. Standard protocol moving forward. He walks toward the door. Asha's voice stops him. What if I'm right? He doesn't turn around. Then you'll have destroyed your career for nothing. The door closes. The residents finish their work in silence. They avoid Asha's eyes. Within minutes, the room empties. The equipment gets wheeled away. The alarm silences. Asha stands alone beside Min's crib. He's breathing steadily now. The crisis has passed. For now. But the poison is still there. Still accumulating. Still working its slow destruction. She touches his hand. His fingers are warm again. I won't let them ignore you, she whispers. But doubt creeps in. What if she's wrong? What if the test really was contaminated? What if she just destroyed her career over a mistake? Her phone buzzes. A text from the hospital administrator. Report to my office immediately. Asha's pulse quickens. She looks at Min one more time. Then she walks down the hallway, past nurses who won't meet her eyes. She reaches the administrator's office, knocks once. Come in. The administrator sits behind a large desk. A file folder sits open. Asha recognizes her own employee photo. Sit down, Nurse Park. Asha sits. You ran an unauthorized toxicology test on a patient under false pretenses. You falsified a lab request. You confronted a senior physician, and you accused this hospital of poisoning a child. Each sentence lands like a hammer. Do you have anything to say? He's being poisoned. Someone is killing him slowly, and everyone is ignoring it. Based on what evidence? Based on observation. Based on a positive toxicology result. Based on the fact that he almost died tonight. The test result was a false positive. Or it was the truth and someone destroyed it. Silence fills the office. The administrator writes something, closes the folder. You're suspended pending investigation, effective immediately. Turn in your badge and keycard on your way out. Asha's world tilts. You're firing me? I'm protecting this hospital from a liability. I'm protecting a child. You're violating protocol and making serious accusations without proof. Asha stands. If something happens to that baby while I'm gone, then we'll handle it appropriately. Like you're handling it now? Leave, Nurse Park, before I call security. Asha walks out. Reaches the locker room, opens her locker, pulls out her bag, her badge, her keycard, 8 years reduced to metal and plastic. She walks to the front desk, slides them across, steps outside. Cold night air hits her face, and somewhere behind her, Min lies alone in his crib, still being poisoned, still dying. When the system protects itself instead of the innocent, Who will speak for those who have no voice? The second lab result arrives at dawn. Not the torn one, not the destroyed evidence. A different test, run by a different technician, ordered under a different name, delivered to Asha's personal email because she knew the hospital would bury it. She opens the attachment on her phone while sitting in her car outside the hospital. Chemical compound confirmed. Industrial cleaning agent. Toxic concentration. Cumulative exposure pattern consistent with repeated contamination over 14 to 21 days. She was right. Min is being poisoned. Slowly, methodically, perfectly disguised as a medical condition no one questioned. She screenshots the result, forwards it to herself 3 times, prints it at a 24-hour copy shop, holds the physical paper like proof might disappear if she doesn't anchor it to reality. Now she has evidence. Now she has everything except permission to use it. Asha drives back to the hospital, parks in the visitor lot, walks through the main entrance. She's suspended, banned, but she can't stay away. Not now. She takes the elevator to the administrative floor, finds the senior physician's office, knocks hard, no answer. She knocks again. The door opens. The doctor stands there holding a coffee cup. His expression shifts from surprise to irritation. "Nurse Park, you're not supposed to be here." Asha holds up the lab report. "He's being poisoned. This proves it." The doctor glances at the paper. Another false positive. From a different lab, different technician, same result. Irrelevant. It's proof. It's harassment. A child is dying and you're worried about harassment? The doctor steps into the hallway, pulls the door shut. His voice drops low and dangerous. "You need to leave. Now. Before I have you arrested for trespassing." He turns to walk away. Asha follows. Someone contaminated his feeding supply. Someone in this hospital. Someone with access. The doctor stops, turns back. Something flickers behind his eyes. Something that looks almost like fear. "You're making serious accusations without evidence." "I have evidence." "You have paranoia." "I have a dead baby if we don't act now." The doctor's jaw tightens. He glances down the hallway, checks if anyone is listening. Then he leans closer. "Do you have any idea what you're implying? If you're right, and that's a massive if, then someone in this hospital deliberately poisoned an infant. That means criminal investigation, media coverage, lawsuits, destroyed reputations. And if I'm wrong, then you've already destroyed yours." He walks away, disappears around the corner. Asha stands alone in the empty hallway. Her proof, her truth, her career-ending piece of paper that no one wants to acknowledge. She folds it carefully, puts it in her bag. Security stops her at the neonatal unit door. "Badge, please." "I don't have one." "Then you can't enter. I need to check on a patient." "Are you family?" "I'm his nurse." The guard checks his tablet, shakes his head. "You're not listed on the staff roster." His expression shifts to something harder. "You're suspended. You definitely can't enter." Asha backs away, takes the stairs down, exits through the side door, sits on a bench in the courtyard. Her phone buzzes, a call from an unknown number. "Hello?" "Nurse Park," a woman's voice, professional, clipped. "Yes, I represent the Family Foundation managing Unit 12's care. We need to speak with you immediately." Asha's pulse quickens. "About what?" "About your concerns regarding his treatment." "You believe me?" A pause. "We're investigating. Can you meet us at the hospital in 1 hour?" "I'm already here." Another pause. Longer. "Wait in the main lobby. Someone will find you." The call ends. Asha sits frozen. Someone finally listened. But the relief doesn't come. Because if they're investigating, that means they already suspected something, which means they knew. Or should have known, which means they let it continue. She walks back inside, sits in the lobby, watches people come and go. Everyone moving through a system they trust completely. A system that's failing one tiny patient on the 4th floor. 30 minutes pass. A woman in a tailored coat approaches, dark hair pulled back, expression unreadable. Nurse Park? Asha stands. Yes. I'm Claire Donovan, legal counsel for the Foundation. Thank you for waiting. She gestures toward the elevators. We need to examine the feeding supply. They ride up in silence. The elevator doors open on the 4th floor. Security waves them through. They walk to the supply room. The senior physician is already there. His expression hardens when he sees Asha. What is she doing here? Claire's voice stays calm. She's assisting with the investigation. There is no investigation. Claire pulls out a folder, opens it. Shows him paperwork. There is now. The doctor's hands clench, but he steps aside. Claire walks to the supply shelves, starts examining formula containers, checking labels, reading expiration dates. Claire pulls one container from the back, holds it up to the light. Her expression changes, just slightly. This isn't formula. She shows the label to the doctor. His face drains of color. That's not possible. Claire reads the label aloud. Industrial cleaning compound. Hospital grade. Concentrated solution. She looks at Asha. Where is the baby's feeding station? When the truth finally surfaces, who pays the price for the lies that almost killed an innocent child? They find the junior technician in the basement supply office. Her name is Melissa Chen, 23 years old, 6 months into her hospital career. She's crying before anyone asks the first question. Claire Donovan sits across from her in a windowless conference room. 2 police officers stand by the door. Asha watches through the one-way glass. I didn't know, Melissa sobs. I swear I didn't know. Claire's voice stays gentle. Tell us what happened. Melissa wipes her eyes. Her hands shake. 3 weeks ago, a new shipment came in. Formula and cleaning supplies. They were in the same delivery. Someone told me to unpack everything and store it properly. Her voice cracks. But the labels looked the same. The bottles were the same size. I thought I was following the system. Who told you to store them together? I don't remember. It was during shift change. Someone senior. Someone who knew the procedures. Claire leans forward. Try to remember. This is important. Melissa closes her eyes. Her breathing is uneven. A man. Older. White coat. He said the cleaning compound was safer than the old. Formula. Said it was a new protocol. Said to replace the backstock. She opens her eyes. He showed me paperwork. It looked official. Claire slides a tablet across the table. Shows her photos of hospital staff. Was it one of these people? Melissa scrolls through slowly. Stops on one photo. Her face goes pale. Him. She points to the senior physician. Claire makes a note. Dr. Harrison approved the storage change? Melissa nods. He said it was standard, that I was doing it correctly. The room falls silent. Dr. Harrison authorized it, knowingly or unknowingly, but either way, he put the poison exactly where it would reach Min. The door opens. One of the police officers steps out, makes a call, returns, whispers something to Claire. Claire stands. Thank you, Melissa. You're not in trouble, but we'll need you to write down everything you remember. She walks out. The officers follow. Asha meets her in the hallway. What happens now? Now we talk to Dr. Harrison. They find him in his office, packing a briefcase. He looks up when they enter. His expression is resigned, defeated. Claire doesn't waste time. You approved the storage arrangement. You told Melissa Chen to replace the formula stock with industrial cleaning compound. Dr. Harrison sets down the briefcase, sits heavily. I was following updated protocols, or what I thought were updated protocols. His voice is hollow. Someone sent me an email. New storage guidelines. Cost-saving measures. It had all the right signatures. All the right departmental headers. Do you still have that email? I deleted it after implementation. Convenient. Dr. Harrison's jaw tightens. I made a mistake. A terrible, unforgivable mistake. But it wasn't intentional. I didn't know the compound was toxic. He looks at Asha. You were right, about everything, and I ignored you because I couldn't admit I might have been wrong. A baby almost died because you couldn't admit a mistake. I know. Claire's phone buzzes. She reads a message. Her expression shifts. The IT department recovered the email. It was spoofed, sent from outside the hospital network, made to look official. She shows Dr. Harrison the screen. Someone deliberately manipulated you into poisoning that child. The room goes cold. Dr. Harrison stares at the phone. That's not possible. Who would... He stops. Understanding dawns. The baby. The guards. The sealed paperwork. The private foundation. His voice drops. Who is he? That's confidential. If someone tried to kill him through the hospital, we need to know why. We're handling it. Footsteps echo in the hallway. Heavy. Purposeful. The office door opens. A man enters. Tall. Controlled. Dressed in an expensive suit. 2 more men flank him. Security. Private. The man's eyes scan the room. Land on Claire. Status? Contamination source confirmed. Hospital error manipulated by external actor. Investigation ongoing. The man nods. Turns to Dr. Harrison. You will resign. Effective immediately. No press statements, no legal action. The foundation will handle the fallout quietly. Dr. Harrison's face goes white. I didn't know. You didn't question. That's worse. The man walks past him, approaches Asha, studies her for a long moment, then he speaks. His voice is quiet. Dangerous. You noticed. Asha swallows. Yes. You spoke. Yes. Even when they told you not to. Yes. He glances at Claire. Back to Asha. My son is alive because you refused to stay silent. The words hit like a physical blow. His son. The baby is connected to someone powerful, someone dangerous, someone standing right in front of her. Who are you? The man extends his hand. Seo Junho. They shake. His grip is firm, controlled. The foundation will ensure proper care moving forward. You'll be reinstated immediately with full back pay. Asha's throat tightens. I don't want money. I want him safe. He will be. How can you promise that? Because now I know someone was targeting him, and I know how. He releases her hand, turns to Claire. Find who sent that email. Trace the source. I want names by morning. Claire nods. Junho looks at Dr. Harrison one last time. Your mistake almost cost me everything. He walks out. His security follows. The door closes. Dr. Harrison sinks into his chair, puts his head in his hands. I'm ruined. Claire doesn't offer sympathy. You earned it. She turns to Asha. Come with me. They walk to Min's room. He's awake. His eyes are brighter. His skin has color. The feeding tube has been replaced. New formula. Clean. Safe. Asha approaches the crib, touches his tiny hand. He grips her finger. He's going to recover, Claire says quietly. Full detox will take weeks. But he'll survive. Asha blinks back tears. Who would want to hurt a baby? Someone who wanted to hurt his father through the one thing he couldn't protect. This wasn't random. Someone planned this. Used the hospital as a weapon, used Min as a target. What happens now? Claire's expression is grim. Now we find out who's responsible. But Asha knows it isn't over, because someone out there failed once. And desperate people rarely stop at one attempt. When you discover the poisoning wasn't an accident, but a deliberate attack, how do you protect an innocent child from an enemy you can't see? Junho kneels beside the crib, and the room goes silent. No one moves. No one speaks. The powerful man who made a doctor resign with 3 sentences now stares at his son with an expression that cracks through every wall he's built. He reaches out slowly, touches Min's hand. The baby's tiny fingers curl around one of his. "You noticed," he says without looking up. Asha stands near the door, her throat tight. "Yes, you spoke. Yes. Even when they told you not to. Yes." Junho finally looks at her. His eyes are dark, controlled, but something moves beneath the surface, something raw. "Power means nothing without humility," he says, quietly. "My son lives because you paid attention when no one else would." Around them, authority shifts. Claire makes calls. Security adjusts positions. The senior physician's name disappears from schedules. Equipment gets replaced. Protocols get rewritten. The hospital moves like a machine recalibrating after discovering a fatal flaw. But Asha doesn't feel relief. She feels the weight of what comes next. Junho stands, straightens his suit. The mask slides back into place. "You'll be reinstated immediately. Full back pay. Access to any resources you need." He pauses. "And protection. Protection from what? From whoever sent that email." The words hang in the air, cold, final. A reminder that this isn't over, that someone out there planned this, executed it, failed, and failure creates desperation. Claire approaches. "We traced the email to an encrypted server, multiple proxy layers. Whoever did this knew what they were doing." She glances at Junho. This wasn't amateur hour. Junho's jaw tightens. "Find them." "We're trying." "Try harder." He turns back to Asha. "You saved him. That creates a debt I can't repay. But it also creates a target." His voice drops lower. "They tried to hurt me through my child. Now they know someone interfered, someone noticed, someone stopped them." Asha's pulse quickens. "You think they'll come after me?" "I think they'll come after anyone who threatens their plan." The hospital room suddenly feels smaller, colder. Asha looks at Min sleeping peacefully in his crib. His chest rises and falls in steady rhythm. Color has returned to his skin, strength to his tiny body. But the danger hasn't passed. It's just changed shape. "What do I do?" she asks. Junho pulls a card from his pocket, hands it to her. "You carry this. If anything feels wrong, if anyone approaches you, if you see anything unusual, you call that number immediately." Asha takes the card. The paper feels heavier than it should, like accepting it means accepting something bigger, something dangerous, something she can't take back. "I just wanted to save a baby," she whispers. "You did. Now let me make sure that wasn't a mistake for either of you." Junho walks toward the door. His security falls in behind him. He pauses at the threshold, looks back at Min one more time. His expression softens for just a moment, then hardens again. "Thank you, Nurse Park, for seeing what others missed, for speaking when silence was safer." He leaves. The room empties. Asha stands alone beside the crib. She touches Min's hand, feels his strong pulse, his warm skin, his recovered strength. She saved him. But at what cost? Her phone buzzes. A text from her mother's caregiver. "She's asking for you," says she's proud. Asha's eyes sting. She blinks back tears. Types a response. "Tell her I love her. I'll visit tomorrow." She looks at Min one more time, whispers words he can't understand. "You're safe now. I promise." But even as she says it, doubt creeps in, because promises are only as strong as the people who make them. And somewhere out there, someone is planning their next move. The door opens behind her. Claire steps in. "Your badge and credentials have been restored. You're officially back on staff." She pauses. "But I need you to understand something. This wasn't random. This wasn't opportunistic. Someone targeted this child specifically. Used sophisticated methods, exploited hospital systems. That level of planning means resources, means connections, means they won't stop just because they failed once. Asha turns to face her. Then what do? You stay alert. You trust your instincts. And you remember that you're not alone anymore. Claire hands her a different card. That's my direct line. 24 hours. No hesitation. Asha takes it. 2 cards now. 2 lifelines. 2 reminders that her quiet life just became complicated in ways she never imagined. Will he be safe here? She asks. Claire's expression is grim. We're doing everything we can. New feeding protocols, dedicated staff, enhanced security. But safe? She shakes her head slightly. No one is ever completely safe when someone wants them dead badly enough. The truth settles like ice in Asha's chest. She saved Min. But saving him once doesn't mean saving him forever. And now she's part of something bigger than a hospital room. Bigger than one poisoned baby. Bigger than her small, quiet existence of night shifts and medical bills. Now she's a witness. A threat. A target. When saving a life pulls you into a war you didn't start, how do you protect both the child and yourself from an enemy who operates in shadows? That night, Asha walks to her car and the parking lot feels wrong. Not empty. Not crowded. Just wrong. The air sits too still. The shadows fall at angles that don't quite match the streetlights. Her footsteps echo louder than they should. She grips her keys between her fingers, unlocks the car from 10 feet away, scans the back seat. Before opening the door, nothing. She slides inside, locks the doors immediately, starts the engine. Her hands shake slightly on the steering wheel. She's being paranoid, seeing threats that aren't there, letting fear turn normal into dangerous. But then a man steps from behind a concrete pillar, tall, dark jacket, hands in pockets. He doesn't rush, doesn't threaten, just stands there watching her car. Asha's heart hammers. She shifts into reverse. The man takes 1 step forward, not aggressive, not fast, just deliberate. Her phone is in her bag. Junho's card is in her pocket. She could call, should call, but what would she say? A man is standing in a parking lot? That's not a crime. That's not even suspicious, except her instincts scream otherwise. The man pulls one hand from his pocket. Asha's breath catches. He's holding a phone. He types something. Then he looks directly at her car, directly at her. His lips move. 3 words she can't hear through the glass. You saved him. Asha's blood runs cold. He knows. Somehow, he knows. She slams the car into reverse. Tires screech. The man doesn't chase, just watches. Asha backs up fast, swings around, floors the accelerator toward the exit. Her rearview mirror shows the man still standing there, still watching, still making no move to follow. But that makes it worse somehow. Because people who chase you want something immediate. People who watch you are planning something later. Asha drives home with her eyes flicking between the road and the rearview mirror. No one follows. No headlights stay constant. No cars match her turns. She reaches her apartment building, parks under a streetlight, runs to the entrance, fumbles with her keys, gets inside, locks the door behind her. She leans against it, breathing hard, heart pounding. Her apartment is small, cluttered, safe, except now it doesn't feel safe. Now it feels exposed. Ground floor, windows facing the street, locks that could be picked by anyone with basics, skills. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. Asha stares at the screen. Her thumb hovers over the answer button. It buzzes again. Again. She answers. Hello? Silence. Then breathing. Slow. Steady. Someone is there. Who is this? Asha demands. Someone who knows this was not an accident. The voice is male, distorted, like he's speaking through a filter. What do you want? I want you to understand something, Nurse Park. You made yourself visible. Visible people become targets. Asha's grip tightens on the phone. If you're threatening me, I'm warning you. A black car rolls slowly past her window. Dark tinted glass. No plates visible. It doesn't stop. Just cruises by like a shark circling prey. You saved the child, the voice continues. That makes you valuable. Valuable things attract attention. Not all of it friendly. Who are you? Someone who watches. Someone who waits. Someone who knows that first attempts rarely succeed. The line goes quiet for a moment. But second attempts? Those are planned better, executed cleaner, and they account for interference. The call ends. Asha stands frozen in her apartment. The phone feels heavy in her hand. She looks at the window, at the street beyond, at the empty space where the black car disappeared. Her mind races. Call Junho, call Claire, call the police. But say what? A man stood in a parking lot. An unknown caller made vague statements. A car drove past her window. None of that is actionable. None of that is proof. She pulls out Junho's card, stares at the number. Her finger hovers over the screen. Then she makes the call. He answers on the second ring. Nurse Park. Someone followed me. Someone called me. They know I saved Min. They know my name. A pause. Where are you now? Home. Pack a bag. Security will be there in 10 minutes. You're not staying there tonight. I can't just leave. You can. You will. This isn't a request. The call ends. Asha stares at her phone. Then she moves. Grabs a Biduayom duffel bag, throws in clothes, toiletries, her mother's photo, medication, chargers, everything essential. Her hands shake. Her breath comes fast. She's running, actually running, from shadows, from threats, from a life that was difficult but predictable. 9 minutes later, a knock at her door. Asha looks through the peephole. 2 men in dark suits, professional, armed. One holds up an ID, private security, Junho's people. She opens the door. They don't waste time. We need to move. One now. They escort her to a black SUV. Tinted windows, reinforced doors. One man drives, the other sits beside her, silent, alert, watching every car, every shadow, every movement. They drive for 20 minutes, away from her neighborhood, away from familiar streets, into a part of the city she rarely sees. They pull into an underground garage, high-end building, security cameras everywhere. The SUV stops. The men escort her to an elevator. It rises to the 15th floor, opens into a hallway with only 4 doors. They stop at one, unlock it, step inside first, clear the space, then gesture her in. You're safe here, one says. Guards on the entrance, cameras on every floor. No one gets in without clearance. Asha steps inside. The apartment is furnished, clean, sterile, nothing personal, just functional luxury, a safe house, a cage, a place to hide while someone else hunts. The men leave. The door locks with a heavy click. Asha sets down her bag, walks to the window. The city stretches out below. Lights, movement, life continuing while hers just got interrupted. She pulls out her phone, texts her mother's caregiver. Something came up at work. I'll visit when I can. She sits on the couch, alone, protected, trapped, and somewhere out there someone is planning their next move. Someone who knows she interfered. Someone who sees her as a problem to solve. Asha closes her eyes, breathes slowly, tries to calm her racing heart. She saved Min, did the right thing, spoke up when others stayed silent. But doing the right thing just made her a target, and targets don't stay safe forever. No matter how high the building, no matter how strong the locks, no matter how many guards stand watch, when doing the right thing puts your life in danger, do you run, hide, or stand and fight? The alarm on Min's monitor screams at 4 in the morning. Asha bolts awake, grabs her phone. A message from the hospital, code blue, neonatal unit, room 412. Her blood turns to ice. Room 412, Min's room. She's off the floor, locked in a safe house, not even supposed to be working. But that's Min. That's her patient. That's the baby she nearly destroyed her career to save. She throws on clothes, runs to the door. The security guard outside straightens. "Miss Park, you can't. Someone is hurting that baby again. Drive me to the hospital now, or get out of my way." The guard hesitates, then speaks into his radio. 30 seconds later, they're in the elevator. 1 minute after that, they're in the SUV, racing through empty streets. Asha's hands clench in her lap. Her mind races. Another attempt, just like the voice on the phone predicted. Second attempts planned better, executed cleaner. They reach the hospital. Asha runs through the entrance, flashes her badge, takes the stairs because the elevator is too slow, bursts onto the 4th floor. Doctors and nurses crowd around Min's room. Chaos, shouting, equipment everywhere. Asha pushes through. What happened? A resident looks up. Respiratory distress, heart rate dropping. We don't know why. He was stable an hour ago. Asha reaches the crib. Min's lips are turning blue. His chest moves in irregular gasps. The monitors show numbers falling. 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 She scans the equipment, the feeding line, the IV, the oxygen supply. Everything looks normal. Everything should be working. But something isn't. Her eyes lock on the oxygen line. Clear tubing running from the wall to Min's nose. Standard. Common. Used on every patient. Except something about it looks wrong. The tubing is clean. Too clean. Like it was recently replaced. Asha leans closer. Sniffs near the connection point. That smell. Faint but familiar. Metallic. Chemical. "Stop the oxygen," she says. "What?" "Stop it now." A doctor moves to argue. Asha doesn't wait. She disconnects the oxygen line herself. Min gasps, struggles. Then slowly his breathing evens. His color returns. His heart rate stabilizes. The room goes silent. Everyone stares at the disconnected tubing. "Test that line," Asha says. Her voice shakes, but her certainty doesn't. "Test it for contamination." A nurse takes the tubing, rushes it to the lab. The doctor stares at Asha. "How did you know?" "Because someone already tried to poison him once. This is just a different method." Claire appears in the doorway, Jun-ho right behind her. They take in the scene, the stabilizing monitors, the disconnected oxygen, the terrified staff. Jun-ho walks to the crib, looks down at his son. His expression is carved from stone. "Who changed the oxygen line?" His voice is quiet. Deadly. No one answers. Jun-ho turns to face the room. "Who changed the line?" A young nurse raises her hand, trembling. "I did. 20 minutes ago. The old one looked worn. I thought I was following protocol." "Where did you get the replacement?" "Supply closet, 2nd shelf. It was sealed, new." Jun-ho looks at Claire. She's already on her phone. Barking orders. Security floods the floor. The supply closet gets locked down. Every oxygen line gets pulled. Every piece of equipment gets inspected. The hospital shifts into emergency mode. The lab tech runs back, out of breath, holds up a printout. The line tested positive. Same chemical compound as before. Different delivery method. The room erupts. Doctors shouting. Nurses backing away. Security escorting people out. Jun-ho stands in the center of it all, unmoved, unshaken, but his eyes burn with something cold and dangerous. "Someone inside this hospital is trying to kill my son," he says, "and they just tried again." He turns to Asha. "You saved him. Again." Asha's legs feel weak. She sits heavily in the chair beside the crib. "They're not going to stop." "No, they're not." "Then what do we do?" Jun-ho's expression hardens. "We stop reacting. We start hunting." He gestures to his security. "Lock down this floor. No one enters without clearance. No supplies come in without testing. No staff works alone." He looks at Claire. "Find out who planted that oxygen line. Pull every camera. Interview every person who had access." Claire nods, disappears into the hallway. Junho kneels beside Asha. His voice drops low enough that only she can hear. You noticed again, even when you weren't supposed to be here, even when you were locked away for protection. You came anyway. I couldn't let him die. Most people would have stayed safe. I'm not most people. Junho studies her face. No, you're not. He stands. You're part of this, now. Whether you want to be or not, whoever is doing this sees you as an obstacle. They'll try to remove you just like they tried to remove him. Asha's throat tightens. So, what do? You stay close, you stay alert, and you trust your instincts, because your instincts are the only reason my son is still breathing. He walks to the door, pauses, looks back. Thank you, Nurse Park, for caring more about a child than your own safety. That's rare. That's valuable. That's why you're still alive. He leaves. Asha sits alone beside Min's crib. The baby sleeps now. Peaceful. Unaware. Innocent. She touches his hand. Feels his strong pulse. His recovered warmth. She saved him twice. But how many more times? How many more attempts before one succeeds? Before her luck runs out? Before someone decides she's too much trouble to let live? Her phone buzzes. Unknown number again. Against every instinct, she answers. Hello? You interfered again. The same distorted voice. That was a mistake. Who are you? Someone who doesn't make the same mistake twice. A pause. You think you're safe in that building? You think guards and cameras will protect you? The voice drops lower. We know where you are. We know what you're doing. And we know how to fix problems that won't go away. The call ends. Asha's hands shake. She looks at Min sleeping peacefully. Then at the door where security stands guard. Then at her phone showing the unknown number. Somewhere out there, someone is watching. Someone is planning. Someone is preparing to try again. And again. And again. Until they succeed. Or until someone stops them permanently. Asha closes her eyes. Breathes slowly. She can't keep reacting. Can't keep waiting for the next crisis. Can't keep pulling Min back from the edge. She needs to find who's doing this. Before they find her. Before they succeed. Before innocent lives get destroyed by people who see children as weapons instead of treasures. Outside, engines start. Slow. Deliberate. A reminder that nowhere is truly safe. That protection has limits. That every life saved comes with a price. And Asha just became part of the payment plan. When the attacks keep coming and nowhere feels safe, how many times can one person save a child before someone decides to silence them forever? The second poison attempt traces back to a ghost. No employee record. No security badge. No camera footage showing anyone entering the supply closet. Just a contaminated oxygen line that appeared like it materialized from nothing. Claire spends 72 hours chasing leads. Everyone ends at a dead end. Every connection breaks. Every witness saw nothing. Whoever is doing this has inside help, she tells Junho in his private office. Asha sits across from them, exhausted, wired, living on coffee and fear. Someone with access. Someone who knows our systems. Someone we trust. Junho's expression doesn't change. Then we stop trusting anyone. He turns to Asha. You've seen patterns twice now, details others missed. What do you notice about the attempts? Asha thinks, remembers, connects. Both use slow methods, cumulative poisons, things that mimic natural conditions. Not immediate, not obvious, almost like she stops. Her eyes widen, like they wanted him to suffer, not just die, but fade slowly, painfully. Junho nods. This isn't about efficiency. This is about cruelty, about sending a message through my son's pain. What message? That I'm vulnerable, that even my child isn't safe, that my power has limits. His hands clench. Someone wants me to feel helpless. Wants me to watch him disappear and know I couldn't stop it. Claire leans forward. We found the email server, buried under layers of encryption. But we found something else. The poison wasn't just targeting Min. There were 3 other cases in the past year. Different hospitals, different cities. All children. All connected to powerful families. All slow poisonings disguised as medical conditions. Asha's blood runs cold. This is a pattern. Someone targeting children of powerful people systematically. Yes, and you just disrupted it. Claire slides photos across the desk. These children didn't survive. No one noticed in time. No one spoke up. No one questioned the diagnoses. Asha stares at the photos. Tiny faces, innocent eyes. Lives ended because no one paid attention. Because systems failed. Because authority went unquestioned. Her throat tightens. How many? 7 confirmed. Probably more we haven't found yet. Who would do this? Junho's voice cuts through the room like a blade. Someone who profits from our pain. Someone who understands that powerful people will pay anything to protect their children or avenge them. Understanding crashes over Asha. Extortion. They poison the children, then offer the cure or information or whatever the parents need for a price. Not just money, Junho says. Influence, access, favors, things more valuable than currency. He stands, walks to the window. They tried with my son, but they didn't expect a night shift nurse to notice what a team of doctors missed. He turns back to Asha. You broke their pattern, exposed their method, made them visible. That makes you the greatest threat they've ever faced. Asha's hands shake. So, what happens now? Now we use you as bait. The words hang in the air. Claire straightens. Junho, she's already a target. They've already shown they know where she is. We use that. We let them think she's vulnerable. And when they move, we catch them. Asha's pulse races. You want me to let them come after me? I want to protect other children. And you're the only person who's proven capable of noticing what these people do. Junho steps closer. I'm not ordering you. I'm asking. This is dangerous. Possibly fatal. But it's also the only way we stop this. Asha looks at Min sleeping in the portable crib they moved to the office. Recovering. Surviving. Living because she paid attention. She thinks of the 7 children in the photos. The ones no one saved, the ones who died slowly while everyone around them followed protocol and ignored instinct. She thinks of her mother, her career, her simple, difficult, ordinary life. Everything she'd risk by saying yes, everything she'd lose by saying no. She meets Junho's eyes. What do I need to do? Claire spends the next 2 hours wiring Asha. Tiny microphone, GPS tracker. Panic button disguised as a necklace. The moment you feel threatened, you press this. We'll have people there in under 2 minutes. What if 2 minutes is too long? Then you run. You fight. You survive. Claire's expression is grim. Junho's people are the best, but you're the one taking the risk. They return Asha to her apartment. Make it look like security got pulled, like she's alone. Vulnerable. Exposed. She sits in her living room with every light on. Waits. Hours pass. Nothing happens. Midnight comes. 1 a.m. 2 a.m. At 3:17, her door handle turns slowly. Asha's heart stops. She touches the panic button. The door opens. A figure enters. Male. Average height. Face covered. He doesn't speak, just moves toward her with mechanical precision. Asha backs toward the kitchen. Her hand closes around a knife. The figure stops, tilts his head. You should have stayed quiet, Nurse Park. Who are you? Someone who fixes mistakes. He lunges. Asha dodges. The knife flashes in the light. She doesn't think, just reacts, swings the blade, connects. The figure stumbles, curses, grabs his arm. Blood seeps through his sleeve. Then the door explodes inward. Junho's security floods the room, guns drawn, shouting. The figure tries to run, gets tackled, pinned, cuffed. Asha drops the knife. Her legs give out. She sits hard on the floor. Claire rushes in. "Are you hurt?" "No, I'm okay. She can't finish, can't process, just sits there while security drags the figure away, while evidence gets collected, while her apartment becomes a crime scene. Junho enters, looks at her. "You did well. I almost died. But you didn't." He kneels beside her. "And now we have him. Now we can trace the network. Find the others. Stop this before more children die." Hours later, after statements and medical checks and security debriefs, Asha returns to the hospital. To Min's room. He's awake. Alert. His eyes track her movement. She picks him up gently. Holds him close. Feels his heartbeat against her chest. Strong. Steady. Alive. "You're safe now," she whispers. "Really safe." Junho appears in the doorway, watches them. "The man talked, gave us names, locations, the entire operation. We're shutting it down today." He pauses. 7 children died, but dozens more would have followed. You stopped that. Asha looks up. Tears stream down her face. "I just paid attention." "You did more than that. You refused to stay silent when silence was safer. You put yourself at risk for someone you barely knew. You proved that one voice can stop an entire conspiracy." He steps into the room. "You saved my son twice, exposed a criminal network, and reminded this hospital what nursing actually means." Asha hands Min back to his father, watches them together, the powerful man and his tiny, fragile son, connected by blood, protected by awareness, saved by someone who noticed what others missed. "What happens now?" she asks. Junho smiles, small, real. "Now you live your life. I handle the rest, but you'll always have protection, always have support, because you're family now, whether you want to be or not." Asha walks out of the hospital into morning light. The city is waking up, people rushing to work, living normal lives, unaware that somewhere in the shadows children were being targeted, were dying, were being used as weapons in games they didn't understand, but not anymore, not after this, not after one nurse decided that observation mattered more than obedience, that truth mattered more than career, that protecting the innocent required courage more than credentials. Asha's phone buzzes, a message from her mother's caregiver. She saw the news. She's proud of you, says you always had a hero's heart. Asha smiles through tears, types back, "Tell her I love her, and I'll be home soon." She walks toward her car, the morning sun warm on her face, the weight of the past week starting to lift. She saved a life, multiple lives, made a difference when it mattered most, and somewhere in that hospital a baby sleeps peacefully, protected, recovered, alive, because someone paid attention, because someone spoke up, because someone refused to accept that failure to thrive was anything but failure to see. The world keeps turning. But for Min, for Asha, for everyone touched by this story, everything changed, and sometimes change starts with one person noticing what everyone else missed. One person refusing to stay silent. One person deciding that doing the right thing matters more than staying safe. Would you have the courage to speak up if it meant risking everything? Would you notice the details others missed? Would you fight for someone who couldn't fight for themselves? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because every day we bring you stories of courage, survival, and the power of one person making a difference. Your support helps us continue sharing these unforgettable journeys. What would you have done in Asha's position? Let us know. And remember, sometimes the smallest voice creates the biggest change.